Hello, good morning and welcome to a rather late Morning Brew with Graham Hughes broadcasting from Liverpool. I'm not at the conference. Technical problems this morning. Technical problems. If anyone drops a super chat in to ask what the technical problems were, I'll let you know. But otherwise, let's just say technical problems prevented me from starting at 9 o'clock when I was meant to. But as a result of this, what we're going to do is we are going to take the Chancellor's speech, Rachel Reeves. We're going to take her speech live as it comes at 12 o'clock here. Obviously, I'm not at the conference, but I will go to the conference. Later on, I will give you a guided tour. I just bought a SIM for my phone so I can actually get signal at the venue. And yeah, it should be a laugh. So, and then this evening at 7 o'clock, we'll be live streaming me and Phil in the pub with a few friends, and we're going to be talking about Labour's comms and why they're fucked and why we need to fix them. So yesterday was quite fun. I got to meet the Prime Minister of Great Britain, and all I could think of, right, was the bit from The Simpsons where they visited Britain and Tony Blair greeted them off the plane, and Homer said, "If I give you $5, will you go away?" It was a bit like that, because I literally got off the plane, got the train to Liverpool, went to the conference, and within 10 minutes of getting to the conference, I was having a selfie with the Prime Minister. Wasn't expecting that, but you know what I'm like, you know, if there's somewhere I could get into, if there's a blag to be had, the blag is happening, which is really fun. Paula Thomas, what were the technical problems? What problems, says Martin Harrow? Okay, I'll tell you. Thank you very much for the super chat, Martin. Really appreciate that, my friend. So the technical problem was, I woke up at 9 o'clock this morning on my friend's couch in the city centre with no recollection of how I got there. That was a technical problem. So, trying to work it out, it was a bit like the movie The Hangover, where you wake up in the morning and you're like, what just happened? Like, how did that go so bad? And what it was, I realised afterwards, was the flight from China? The flight from Canada last night, yesterday, was delayed until after midnight. So it was about 1 o'clock in the morning before we actually took off, right? So I was knackered. It had been a long day. I had obviously spent the night before in Costa Rica, staying at in the airport overnight. So I was tired, and I just went out. I just went out like a light, right? And I woke up half an hour before landing, and so I didn't have anything to eat. They come along with a meal, but obviously I was snoring my head off, so they just ignored me. And then I got off the plane intending to get some food, but the plane was 2 hours late getting here, and then I ran to the train station because the train was going to leave in like 2 minutes. Got to the train station and the train was cancelled, because of course it was. So I had to wait on the platform for like half an hour. Literally got back, I think maybe 4 o'clock or something. My mum picked me up at Mossley Hill train station because we thought that'd be a bit quicker than picking me up from the city centre. Raced back here, got changed, had a shower in about, 5 minutes time, and then by 5 o'clock I was back at the conference to go to the Northern thing, the Northern Night or whatever it's called, and it was free booze. So I was like, oh great, cool. So I had a couple of beers, right? With Mary Foy, my MP, who was there, and also Tom Brooks, who is now, he's the head of Collingwood College in Durham now. So that opens up some interesting things. I don't know if you would like to watch this, but I'm seriously thinking maybe Thursday night going down to Collingwood and doing like a live stream debate, a political debate every Thursday at the college, because I'll have access now, and get some of the students there, some of the politics students, to do some content and also entertain the people who are watching. I don't know. So I was thinking of setting something up like that. But yeah, anyway, so then the Prime Minister came in. This seems like a fever dream, doesn't it? Then the Prime Minister came in, and I was like, hello. And he made a short speech, which was a bit crap, to be honest with you. And then afterwards, he was just milling about, and I said, can I get a selfie? And he went, yeah, right. And I got a selfie with him. I said, oh, cheers. Comms. I said comms. I actually spoke to Darren Jones at length about the comms, about Labour comms, which is good, because he seems like someone who might be a future Prime Minister. I don't know, but he agreed that the comms are shite, and they need to do something about it. And I gave him a card. I said, listen, Johnny Reynolds, the Chief Whip, can now can vouch for me. that I am a twat. No, that I'm not a twat. And then met up with a couple of mates at the Jacaranda. I had about 2 more beers. Like, honestly, I did not drink much, but what I didn't think about was the fact I hadn't eaten. And that's why I don't have a hangover this morning. But last night, I was absolutely rotten. After a few pints, I was completely wasted. I fell asleep in the pub while my friend was doing karaoke. I then tried to get in a cab, but I was sick. I was physically sick. Like, I'm never sick. I'm like, that's really weird for me. I have not been sick from drinking for a very long time. And when it does happen, it's usually because I've been drinking like something mad, like tequila or something, or absinthe. It's not because I've been drinking beer. But yeah, and then woke up this morning and I was just like, actually, I woke up in the middle of the night, not knowing where I was, and I was walking around this block of flats in town, like pushing the, because I forgot what door I came out of, so I was trying all the doors to find out which one was open so I could go back in and go to sleep, find out where I was sleeping. Oh my god, it was a disaster. Anyway, so the moral of this story is, don't drink on an empty stomach. Don't worry, this is tea. This is tea, darling. Don't drink on an empty stomach. Oh my god. Yeah, I could. They wouldn't let me into the taxi. I was too drunk. They wouldn't let me to get into a taxi to come home. Good job, my friends are awesome, and they took care of me. There was a little note written down by the couch in the morning saying, like, the bathroom's behind you, and you might not know where you are, but you. Anyway, so yeah. I met the Prime Minister. Jack, Ivan, Ambrose, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Hi Graham, I sent you a reminder of what I'd like you to raise on my behalf at the Labour Party conference regarding the need for virtual delegates. Yeah, Ivan, so what I'm going to do there, thank you very much for the super chat and thanks for reminding me. There will be some talks about accessibility at the actual conference, and I will go to those accessibility talks and talk about the lack of accessibility, because I don't see why a phone can't just be set up in every single one of those rooms that have all these, the talks in. Just a phone on a tripod plugged in, so it's not going to run out of power, just live stream in the room. Like that's something that would say, one person could set up like 8 different cameras and just have that in the room, set on the people who are talking and just let it stream. Let it stream. Hey peeps, says Amy, hello. We've got Scott in there, we've got Wayne, lightweight, yeah mate, yeah. It was shocking behaviour, mate. You would have been so ashamed of me. You'd be like, what's going on with this? What's going on with this ginger scouse fella? Hey, what's going on? You'd be like that. Oh, get it together, Graham. I could imagine like shaking me. Like, I'm going, I'm going to be sick. And you're like, no, you're not. It's on your feet, you twat. I could just see that. We know Reformer racist, but Starmer is a poor communicator, says Saragon. Yes, you're right. He should say Farage has harmful, ill-thought, weird and cruel policies. Yeah, because as we'll show you when we go to the paper review, one of the papers is basically saying, if you have consent, Starmer says that if you have concerns about immigration, you are a racist. You're a racist, you are. And it's like, no, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. But, deporting people who have been here for years, who are married with kids, not allowing them to get settled status is just sick. It is sick, and it is it's the politics of greed and selfishness. I think that should be the word, because he's so two-faced. He doesn't have the same rules for himself. He knows that he can afford to have a German wife and a French mistress and have them live in this country. He can afford it, because it costs shitloads now to have someone who's foreign come live with you, and there's so many hoops to jump through. You've got to be earning a certain amount each year. It's got to be salaried. You can't be on a contract. You can't do what I'm doing here, because this wouldn't be applicable, and I don't make enough money to have a foreign girlfriend. I used to have a foreign girlfriend in this country, but I do not anymore, and this is one of the reasons why, which is shit. We're still very good friends. We broke up amicably, and we're both in tears because we didn't want to. But this is the Britain that the fuckers have created, and I fucking hate them for it. I hate what they've done to my life. I hate the fact that there were certain things I wanted to do, and if I'd been born a nepo baby, if I'd been born into untold riches, I would have been able to do them. But because I wasn't born a nepo baby into untold riches, there were certain things that I can't do. I can't fall in love with a foreigner. Anyone who popped out their mum in any other coordinates or longitude and latitude other than the ones that this island occupy. You know, that is sick. That is absolutely sick. One rule for the rich, one for the poor. And it's not just laws, it's about who you're allowed to fall in love with, who you're allowed to marry, who you're allowed to have kids with. And then they go, oh, why isn't anyone having kids? Well, maybe I don't want to have kids with any people in Britain. Maybe I want to have kids with people from Spain or something. I don't know. Like, nice to have the option, innit? Bastards. 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 Anyway, sound like my dad now, don't I, Dad? Well, the way you used to. Tell you what, though, I just love this city, right? I can't tell you, it's a Sunday night. Sunday night. Anywhere else would be dead. Liverpool was absolutely hopping last night. We ended up going to the pub and doing karaoke, and I didn't sing. I mean, it was just bonkers. Like, it was just absolutely fucking crazy. And then I hail a random black cab this morning. There's hundreds of black cabs in Liverpool, and the driver knows me dad. He knows me dad. He's like, oh yeah, he used to have the carburettor shop, didn't he, on Muirhead Avenue? You've been in my cab before. And I love this city. It's like a big little city where everyone knows your name. It's like Cheers, but like a city. Imagine Cheers, but a city. That's Britain. Sorry, Liverpool. Cheers. It's not Britain. Britain's a bit rubbish at the moment, isn't it? Hi, Janeway. Hello. Hello. How you doing? What have we got in here? Ivan says, more should be said about Farage calling out Trump on what he said about autism, pregnant women, and paracetamol. Yeah. He should be, but he isn't because he's so far up Trump's rectum. He can see the future. And Paula says, Graham, that was me on the last night of my finals. Oh, I just can't believe how quickly it went to me head. You know the song, Show Me the Way to Go Home? I had a little drink about an hour ago and it went straight to my head. I never really got that, but I do now. Yeah. You haven't eaten for 24 hours and then you have a couple of pints. You just, your legs just go. Like, just literally your legs are like, wow. But that just shows why, if you want to be sensible in this life, you need to eat loads of junk food before you get drunk. It's not very good for you in the long run, but it'll stop you puking all over yourself in town. Jesus. Anyway, so who else have we got in the chat here? We've got Scott saying morning, the Billy, and Billy Kershaw saying morning, Badgers, and everyone's saying morning to Janeway, who we love, Captain Janeway, on the Voyager, or the Voyager, yeah, did they ever make that joke in the series? Did they ever go, because in the Star Trek The Motion Picture, the whole thing was about the Voyager, wasn't it? And it turned out to be the Voyager probe that was sent out into space by Carl Sagan. But there you go. There you jolly well pop, you little poppers. So yes, what we're going to talk about a little bit today, just about, the Labour Party conference is obviously ongoing. It is going on right now, and apparently Reeves the commitment stands on not raising VAT, which no one thought they were going to raise VAT, so it was a bit of a weird one. That did anyone mention VAT? We've all been mentioning that. There was a guy when I was waiting for the luggage yesterday, because I travel light, but I wanted to bring a bottle of hot sauce from Bocas with me. This is really frustrating, right? So because I got to the Costa Rican airport dead late, everything was closed, so I couldn't check the bag in unless I waited until the check-in desk opened at like 4 o'clock. And I was like, I'll sort that, because there was also building work going on in the concourse, or whatever it's called, that when you first walk in. And so I was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to ditch these. I had 2 bottles of Bocas hot sauce, and that usually lasts us for a good few months. And I had to throw them. I had to chuck them because I couldn't take them because they were 200ml. I can only take up to 100ml. So I had to chuck them. So then when I was in the airport in Costa Rica, once I got through, they were selling hot sauce. It looked the same colour, but it wasn't like Bocas hot sauce is a particular type. But it looked the same colour, so I got that. Annoyingly, the Bocas hot sauce bottles were like $2, right? And you get like 200ml. And this was like a little tiny bottle. It was only 150ml or something like that. Still too big to take through, by the way. And that was about $13 or something for this little bottle. But I wanted to bring some back for my stepdaughter because she loves it. Anyway, so I put the bottle into my luggage, right, and then I checked it in when I got to Canada, so that I could get it through the scanners, whatever. So I'm waiting at the carousel for my luggage to come back. And the guy next to me is talking about how, you know, the plane was late and all this. He's complaining about it. And he said, I must have mentioned I was going to the Labour Party conference or something like that. He said, tell that bloody Keir Starmer making me pay inheritance tax. And I went, you won't have to pay inheritance tax. He goes, yeah, I will. I'll have to pay inheritance tax. I went, you don't have to pay inheritance tax, mate. First of all, you won't because you're dead, right? That someone else will have to pay it. But even then, it's two of yous and you own a house, right? And the house is part of it. It's £1 million tax free. Like, you get £1 million and there's no tax on it whatsoever. It's only over the £1 million. And, you know, are you a millionaire? He went, no, nowhere near. And I went, you're not going to have to pay any fucking tax then. It's only 3% of the population have to fucking pay it. Anything, you know. And he's like, oh, right. And like, no one had ever explained this to him because he obviously is just the guy who just consumes mainstream media, and he just goes, oh, they're going to make me pay inheritance tax. Well, no, they're not. The threshold is £1 million if there's two people and a house involved. £1 million tax free, and people are still whinging. No, not enough. Not enough. What if I want to inherit 10 billion and I have to spend all this money on inheritance tax? It's because all the billionaires own the newspapers, innit? I bet people complain about it. But yeah, the conversations you have near the carriage, the carousel, the carriage carousel. Ivan, thank you for the super chat, my friend. That's very kind of you. You are number one. You're number one. Number one. Graham, on my previous point, the ridiculous thing is Trump doesn't always behave favourably towards Farage. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ivan. Like, Trump has no time for anyone but Trump. That's the thing. He will use people and then I mean, either sack them off or like literally send the police after them, like he's done with James Comey. Over there. James Comey. What's his bloody name? I've forgotten. James Comey. Yeah, it was Comey. Yeah, he is there. But then, yeah. Michael Cohen stuns MSNBC panel with statement about James Comey arrest. Director of the FBI. Just like J. Edgar Hoover. If you think about J. Edgar Hoover, a giant J. Edgar Hoover's going to come along. Liam Fairhair says, good morning. Good morning, Liam. And everyone's saying hello. Hello. Right, so yeah, we're talking about the VAT, right? So the VAT, that's not going to happen. John Healey is currently talking at the Labour Party conference. He's delivering his speech about, his message to Putin, saying stop the killing, start the talks. Obviously, Putin will be listening to that, I'm sure. And there's an employment plan for young people, which is going to be coming in. This is focused on young people getting the training and the opportunities to employment that they deserve. But last year, more than 150,000 jobs were lost in such sectors like retail and hospitality. And they say it's people are saying that, well, economists are apparently saying that the Chancellor had a role in that, but they were only in charge for half the year. It wasn't even half the year. The second half of the year. Yvette Cooper's been on her feet this morning at conference saying that they refuck want to run the country down, which I agree they do want to do that. And and then we've got Britain's role on the international stage matters now more than ever, according to Yvette Cooper. And she's addressing the Labour conference. So there it is. On the second day of the Labour conference, which I should be at, but I'm not. I'm here. I'm doing the show that I should have done at 9:00. I'm doing it now instead. Fun. And I keep trying to think, like, what time is it in Britain? And then I realise, no, actually, it's the time in Britain now because I'm in the same time zone. I'm just getting used to it, friends. I'm just getting used to it. J. Edgar Hoover to Cash Pineapple, what a joke, says Diz. Yeah, you're not wrong there, mate. You're not wrong there. So what else has been said at the Labour Party conference here in Liverpool? Let's just go through some of the things. Chris Philp, which you always think should be Philip, but it's not, is it? It's Philp. He has weighed in on the Prime Minister's comments about Refuck's proposed plans to scrap indefinite leave to remain. And he said that Keir Starmer was completely wrong to describe the proposed policy as racist. It absolutely is. It's there to stop people from other countries settling down in this country. It's there to stop people who are like you and me, like normal people, being able to fall in love and marry and have kids with anyone from any other country. Stay in your village, fuck your sister. That is the message of Refuck. That should be on all the posters. Stay in your village, stay in your lane. Don't get ideas above your station. We can do this. This is for us. It's not for you. These are the rules for you. They're not the rules for us. The rules don't count for us because we're rich. So we're going to make your life a fucking misery. You're going to make it so you can't live and work anywhere in Europe. We still can. Nigel Farage can. His little shitty little kids can. That's not their fault, the Nigel Farage's kids, but at the same time, fuck them. Like, I'm sorry, but their dad is an absolute fucking scumbag, and the shit doesn't fall far from the arse, as the Pope used to say. Or was it Mother Teresa? I don't know. Peter says, can't vote Labour, can't vote Tory, can't vote Lib Dem. Your party is a mess, so gotta vote Green. Yeah, maybe. My take on it is that I will be voting Labour in the next election. I might not still be a member by then because I am getting increasingly pissed off with them. But my MP, Mary Foy, is brilliant. She's really good. She's a really good MP. So I want her to keep her job. And there is going to be some stiff opposition from Refuck, because it's a safe Labour seat, Durham, City of Durham, but there will be stiff competition, so I will be campaigning for her in the next election. So that's where my vote's going to go, and I'll tell you that now. However, I'm just as disappointed. I'm really angry, actually. I'm really pissed off with the way that Labour have conducted themselves over the last year or so. Going after trans people, going after disabled people, going after like some of the most marginalised people in society, and joining in with the fash, having a go at them, fucking disgusting. So yeah, I'm really I want Labour to pivot. I want them to change their direction on this, on matters that like we always say on this channel, and Phil said it a million times, going after trans people is just a vote loser. That's all it is. It is a vote loser. It doesn't win any vote. And Phil is a man of dispassion. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't go in for the emotional side of things like I do. He just looks at the stats. He's just straight in. Is this going to win votes for Labour? No. Will it lose votes? Yes. So why fucking do it? I mean, morality aside, obviously you shouldn't do it because it's a bad thing to do, but like morality aside for a moment, right? It's not a vote winner. It's just a vote loser. Going after disabled people, getting rid of the winter fuel allowance, it's just a vote loser. Stop it. Well, I mean, they've changed it now, but there was a fun cover of one of the newspapers the other week, wasn't there, saying, 1 million people are not going to get the winter fuel allowance now. Well, if there's 1 million pensioners out there who earn more than £30,000 a year, I'm happy they're not getting the winter fuel allowance. Dave says, what I find surprising is the lack of willingness on behalf of politicians to compare Farage to Oswald Mosley. Why? I don't know. I think part of that is they tested the water yesterday to say, oh, well, this particular policy, this racist policy is racist, and he used the R word yesterday, Keir Starmer, in an interview. And I reckon that was just testing the water because they wanted to see what the reaction would be, and the reaction is, predictably, the front page of the Mail today is like, they're calling us all racists. Calling us racist now just because we're concerned about immigration. Stop the boats. Processing centre in France. That's what we need. And a returns agreement, a proper, not one in, one out, but a proper returns agreement with the rest of Europe. Dublin 2.0. That's what we need. That's what the refugees need as well. They need that safety. They need that security to know that they if they get in a boat, they're not going to get to stay here. I just hate it whenever there's something bad happens. When like people get killed coming over, and there's people laughing about it, sick bastards. All the refuck voters going, oh, they're dead. Oh. And I'm just like, oh my god. Liam says, my MP is Lisa Nandy, and she'll probably lose her seat this time. That's sad. I quite like Lisa Nandy. My MP is Rush Anara Al Ali, so not going to vote for her. Ernie Byrne says, make racism unacceptable again and not being called a legitimate concern. Yeah. Should we have a quick peek at the papes? Should we do that? Peek of the papes. Peek of the papes. Peek of the papes. One moment, my darlings. There we go. We have first up the what is even happening right now? Why is this not the right size for the screen? Oh, it's because I've changed the settings. One change there, and then yeah, that fits. Sorry, darling. We've got a guy who looks like he's just, I don't know, come on the front cover of the Independent there. Lowry leads Europe to Ryder Cup victory, which is cool. Take that, America. And then we've got Labour turns its fire on Refux racist policies. Good. And then this very important news from the Daily Star that Oasis might do some gigs next year. So, yeah, good job that's there. There we go. Front cover of the Mail on the right. Worried about immigration? Starmer said you're racist. You're racist. You're a racist. Oh, I hate this newspaper so much. And then we got, on the left, we've got Reeves promises guaranteed jobs for unemployed aged 18 to 21. New work scheme includes a threat to cut benefits if a job opportunity is turned down without good reason. Okay. I can understand the thinking behind that, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, it's a lot more difficult to be unemployed now than it used to be. Like, honestly, you used to be able to, in the 90s, you just sign on and then, you know, you're supposed to look for a job and you could just turn up and just like circle some jobs in the newspaper and go, here you go, I was looking at that. And now it's like you're supposed to spend 8 hours a day, like every day, looking for jobs, applying for jobs, and if you don't, then you get your dole cut. So yeah, or universal credit or whatever they call it these days. But yeah, it is a lot more difficult to claim than ever before, as far as I can see. The Daily Tory graph here: migrants on benefits to be barred from the UK. Home Secretary to tell Labour Conference foreigners must contribute or be sent home. Again, this is all the rhetoric of, you know, anti-immigration, and Labour are lapping this up as well. So it's a bit difficult for them to then go, oh no, that's a policy too far, to Nigel Farage. Yeah, Liam says, I'll never forgive this country for Brexit. We're on a trajectory where I generally feel I will eventually go claim political asylum elsewhere. Says Liam, I don't think you're wrong, mate. The people who voted the Mail may not be racist, but they are enabling them. I think they are racist, to be honest with you. I don't think you read the Mail unless you just don't like people who don't look white enough. And it's like, why would, you know, why are you defending someone you don't know just because they're white? You know, like some absolute pure minger who just like is a horrible person. And you're like, I'd rather live next to an absolute fucking minger who doesn't have a job, you know, who's on the rob. I'd rather have a thief. I'd rather have a fucking paedophile living next door to me if they're white, you know. I'd rather have that than someone from another country who's a fucking brain surgeon. You know, that's the attitude of the people who read the Mail. They can fuck off. And no one reads the Mail by accident. No one reads the Mail because like, oh, I just like to find the news out. It's like, no, you read that because it consistently validates your bigoted views on a daily basis. It says, yes, it's good that you're a racist. Hurrah. Anyway, so onto the Times here. We are already in a hybrid war with Putin, says ex-spy chief. We've been in a hybrid war with Putin since 2014. So that's 11 years late, mate. This is an ex-spy chief. But this is one of the problems. So I've heard this from friends of mine who work at a certain, let's say, community and not a community centre, that the intelligence people in this country, MI5 and MI6, were told after 9/11 to just put all of the resources, all their big guns at stopping the threat of Islamic terrorism, and then completely dropping the ball on looking at, you know, terrorism coming from Russia, which is a country of terrorists who do terrorist attacks. Like they blew up the MH17 jet with the death of 300 civilians. They blew them up with a Russian-made rocket fired by a Russian separatist. And if that plane had been going over Libya or Yemen, and that rocket had been fired by ISIS or the Houthis, do you think that they'll be going, oh, it was a mistake? They thought they were shooting a Ukrainian fucking plane. Like, I mean, oopsies. No, we'll be calling them terrorists, but because they're white, we don't, do we? We go, oh no, it's the Russian state doing it. They're a fucking terrorist state. Look what they did in Bucha. They tortured people to death in front of their own children. Like, that's some fucked up shit they did there. They're using rape as a weapon of war in Ukraine. They've stolen. We hear endlessly, fair enough. There were hostages that have been taken by Hamas, right? We've got, there's 50 of them left. They only think 20 of them are still alive, right? Okay, right. Here's the thing, right? Over 1,000 Ukrainian children I'm talking about like literally thousands of Ukrainian children have been kidnapped from eastern Ukraine and are now being brought up by abusive fuckheads in Russia to be brought up as Russian. And those fuckers are possibly molesting those children. We don't know. We don't know what they're doing, because no one talks about it. No one's investigating. There's no Russian journalists sniffing around the story trying to find out what's happening to these kids, because it's all state run by the terrorist state that is Russia. And here we go, we're already in a hybrid war. Yeah, mate. You're just catching up. There was a book that came out about 10 years ago called World War 3.0, and it was all about hybrid warfare. Unfucking-lievable. I'm just going to go over to the other screen to say thank you for the super chat to Paula. I'm missing my driftwood, super chat driftwood. Thank you very much, Paul. That's very kind of you for the £5. The FT have a YouTube video on the job apocalypse worth of view. I'll have to check that out. The job apocalypse. I don't know if that works. I think if it's going to be like a cat apocalypse, might be better if it was like cats were taking over the world. But job apocalypse, I don't like the way it sort of fits as a word. An ape apocalypse, that could be good. The monkeys take over the world. An ape apocalypse, that could work. But yeah, job apocalypse. I suppose you get the meaning, don't you? So that's good. It's like when they put gate at the end of any kind of scandal. Gate. I always wondered if there's going to be at some point gate, in which there's a thing about a gate, and it becomes a gate because it's a scandal. So it's like. Anyway, looking forward to the ship tonight, Graham. Yes, I am, and so is Decan. Yes, it should be a laugh. We're meeting at 7 o'clock. I mean, I'll be there a little bit earlier. Just come in. We shouldn't. I don't think we're going to be too packed. But we'll. There's a bar there. You can get a drink while we're talking. It's just going to be me and Phil in the corner of the pub having a chat about. Life, the universe and everything, but particularly focusing on Labour comms and doing our plan of action of what Labour can do, right? And I know we've talked about that before on the show, but I think it would be good. I was talking about to my MP. I was trying to get people to come along yesterday. I don't know if anyone will, but it should be good. It should be good. Do you know what's really weird? Yesterday, I met the MP for Middlesbrough, right? So I'm just gonna have to look up his name. Sorry, while I'm doing this. I'm sorry if this makes noises or makes my camera shake. MP for Middlesbrough. MP's your MP. Andy McDonald. There you go. Oh no, that's not mine. Bloody hell! Right, was it Middlesbrough? Was it? No, where the fuck was it? MPs representing Middlesbrough. So no. Did I hear the wrong place? Oh, this has got to do my head in now. I'm sorry, everyone. Hang on. I'm having a bloody brain freeze here. Hang on. Let me just zoom in. Yeah. I'm sure he said Middlesbrough. And the here we go. Luke Yes, that's him. Luke Mayer. Oh, thank God for that. Middlesbrough South. Sorry, there's two constituencies at Middlesbrough in it. Anyway, so yes, Luke Mayer is the MP now for Middlesbrough South and East Cleveland since 2024. He's only a young lad. He's only 30 years old, but his university was Edge Hill University here in Liverpool, and I once, very long time ago, did a talk there about my travels around the world, and he came to my talk. So he recognised me, he came over and went, "Hi Graham, how you doing?" And I was like, "Hello." He went, "I came to your talk." And I was like, "Oh wait, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "I'm an MP now." And I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." So I'm like, friends in high places. Another person who recognised, I love this city. There's only 3 people and a dog live here. It's great. Anyway, so that was good. That was nice. So my reputation precedes me, apparently. Which was also, running into Tom Brooks again. I know we did a show called Hard Labour, didn't we, together? Which was good, but I wanted to make it like a thing that we could do as a live stream, but we couldn't really find a way to make it work because we couldn't have a consistent time each week that we could really do it. But now that he's head of Collingwood in Durham, because they have a collegiate system in Durham, like in Oxford and Cambridge, so you have your own college, and you live there and study there, separate to the other colleges. I think my cat went to Collingwood. Cat, did you go to Collingwood? I don't know if she's watching. I should know these things. These are the sort of things that you should know about your partner, like their eye colour and their birth date. Two very important things to remember about your partner. Don't forget them. But yes. But yeah, now that he's head of Collingwood, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you think this would be a good idea. Once a week, we go to Collingwood and I chair a debate. And that's it. We have this house believes whatever, and we'll have 2 students doing the proposition, 2 doing the opposition, and we'll live stream it on the channel. And I'll be the what's it called? The showman, the greatest showman. The ringmaster. That's it. The lion tamer. No, I'll be the ringleader. The ringleader of the tormentors. So yes, if you think that's a good idea, if you think that would be wank and you want to watch it, just say, "Oh, don't do that, Graham," because it will mean driving to Collingwood College and actually doing some, expending some money going to do this thing. But I think it'd be quite popular, and I kind of like the idea of doing some proper debates that are not this bullshit American style, where you get 30 racists in a room to shout at a brown man. I don't like that. I want to get back to the proper skills of rhetoric and being able to argue for things that you believe in and things that you don't believe in, which is a skill. It's easy to be quite polemic about stuff that you care about deeply and matter to you, but when it's something that you don't care about or you don't believe in, it is quite difficult to fake it and pretend that you are enthusiastic about this terrible idea. But it's a good skill to have. If you want to be a deviant. I think that would be well worth doing, Graham. Oh, thanks, Scott. Scott likes the idea. Okay, cool. Joanna says, I've also notified a few neighbours and one of the directors of the property management company, just so on the grounds people know to keep an eye out. Oh, well, I hope that happens. I hope it all sorts itself out, Joanna, because it seems like a bit of a nightmare at the moment. Number 9, cross fingers and a heart. Aww, inside number 9. And then we've got... What about trying? Oh, talking to Joanna's having a conversation. I'll leave you lot to that. But yeah, that'd be well worth doing. Yeah, Thursday nights. I'm thinking Thursday nights, like 7 till 8 or something like that on a Thursday. Thursday nights, I'll have the kids, and then I can go along to the old place once a week, and we can get that set up and do those weekly debates if they're up for it. I'm sure they have a debate in society, so. Yeah, we will see. But yeah, I was thinking about just how mad it is. When we talk about what Ivan's chat said earlier about them not having accessibility, like full accessibility. They should have. All you need to do, right, is you have a Labour stream, and you pay to be a member for the month, whatever, and it's like a £5 I don't know, whatever, and you get to see all the talks, you know. So it's not necessarily free for all, but at the same time, people will be able to join in. And also, if you're live streaming, you could actually, and someone's behind the camera, we're behind the phone. All you need is the phone. This is the thing. You don't need a fucking. You don't need a camera, you don't need a mixing desk, you don't need all this, you don't need broadcast equipment, you don't need a fucking big satellite. All you need is your fucking phone. I try to explain to people that this phone, I bought this phone for £129 and it's a TV studio in my pocket and I can broadcast to everywhere in the world. I can broadcast to the top of fucking Everest with this. I can broadcast to Antarctica with this. You know, it's just like there's tribes, there's undiscovered tribes of the Amazon who could watch this stream right now if they had access to the internet. Because they had a phone, you know, someone dropped a phone in the jungle and they picked it up and went, ooh, this is interesting. Yeah, it's call it Labour Plus. Call it Labour Plus. What? Says Daylight Dave. Hi Graham, hi all, says Jimmy Anderson's bowling technique, which is a great name. Thank you. Almost as good as Storyteller, because Teller was taken, which I love as a name as well. Back to the papers. Sorry, got a little bit distracted there. We've got the same picture on both the Daily Telegraph and on the Times. That's just not good enough, is it? Come on. Do a bit of work, lads. Come on, sing for your supper. Bloody typesetters. I don't know. Anyway, Europe hold nerve to clinch Ryder Cup. We've got Strictly's Ellie shows Dancing is for Everyone. This is Ellie, I've forgotten what her name is, she's in Strictly Come Dancing, which is really not going through the best of times at the moment. There's numerous scandals coming out, not least Claudia Winkleman's scandalous fringe. But it's really good to see diversity in on that show. They famously had a deaf actress on there, and I think it was last year, old Thingy McCausland. He's from West Derby, you know. He's from down the road from me. That lad, you know, the blind fella. What's his name? McCausland. I forgot what his first name is. I used to go to school with him, Matthew McCausland. He's probably a friend of his, or a relative, I should say. I've got to be friends with everyone with the same surname as me. Comic. What's his name? McCausland. Chris McCausland. There you go. That's the guy, and he won Strictly Come Dancing last year. And he grew up in West Derby Village in Liverpool. But there you go. And so he maybe went to the same church as me when I was a choir boy. So I used to be a choir boy back in the day in West Derby Village, St Mary the Virgin Church. See, you take your kids to a church called St Mary the Virgin. They've got to find out what a virgin is. I remember, you know the thing when you're a kid and the other kids. Sorry, I'm just gonna do this. You know when the other kids want to know what swear words you know, and if you know what the meanings of them all are, right? And I remember being held upside down by my ankles, and by some of the bigger lads, and they were saying, "You don't know what a prostitute is, do you?" Because, you know, virgin or someone, you got to talk about sex, haven't you? Because what is a virgin? Well, it's someone who hasn't had sex. So what is sex? So if you're a kid, you're like, why is that a big important thing? Well, but anyway, so I remember being held upside down by my ankles, being shaken, and saying, you don't know what a prostitute is, do you? And I went, yeah, I do. And they went, what is it then? And I went, it's the opposite of a Catholic. True story. Anyway, so moving on. Don't know why that popped into my head. Paid work for all jobless young people. There, Labour fights back. So this is the Mirror, which is obviously the one newspaper that actually says good things about Labour, which none of the other papers do, especially not the Guardian, that just seems to hate everyone. But there you go. Refux racist migrant plans could tear Britain apart, says PM. Yes, I mean could they do? They literally already have done that, because Farage's Brexit shit has absolutely fucked us. Do you know what I mean? Like, that has already happened. It's already happened, guys. It's gone. Anyway, so it's just going to make even worse, you know. Kyiv vows vengeance for 12-hour bombing. This is the insane number of drones and weapons, missiles were fired into Kyiv. The capital of Ukraine. Horrific, absolutely horrific pictures by the terrorist state that is Russia. And we need to start talking about Russia as a terrorist state. I think we should be talking about Israel as a terrorist state as well. because they would be called a terrorist state if they weren't, if they were Muslim. If it was a Muslim country, we would be calling them a rogue state, we'd be calling them terrorists. Yeah, but we don't, because whatever. Futum Stuck says, as an 8-year-old, I remember calling my uncle Paul a twat because I genuinely thought it was another version of twit. Swearing's so much fun when you're a kid. Actually, it's still fun now. Fuck it, it's fun. And then PM, refuck plan is racist, which it absolutely is. It's absolutely... Why is there an advert for fucking Starlink? Jesus Christ. Get rid of that. Get rid of that! But it is. It's genuinely racist. It's genuinely a horrible, horrible policy that they're putting forward. Yeah, I think it's a bloody disgrace. I just realised that I've got my bloody VPN on. Oh. Okay, I've turned my VPN off now. I don't know if that's gonna mess up my stream. I hope not. But I realised that because I went to the bbc.co.uk and it automatically redirected me to bbc.com, which is really annoying. Please don't do that. Oh, do you know what? It's going to be in the cookies now. It keeps doing it because it thinks that I'm in. Oh, so I was using my VPN when I was away so I could get onto. Oh, there you go. Disconnected, discombobulated. I knew that was going to happen. Shit. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, everyone. That was me. I turned off my VPN, so obviously it reconnected. But unfortunately for me, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the news up like I want to, because it's now going to think that I'm in the. It's now going to think that I'm in. Oh, it keeps changing. The settings think that I'm in America still, or the Americas. Oh, damn it! Damn you to hell! Sorry, this is going to mess up my plan, my great plan. It was a good plan until it got messed up. But it was my plan to live stream the speech from the Chancellor in a few moments' time. Rachel Reeves. There we go. Oh God, the top result is the live stream of the Labour conference from the Scum newspaper. Jesus Christ! I'm going to just go on that and put. Oh no, I can't report it. I'll get rid of that some other way. Let me see what else we can do here. Rachel Reeves speaks at. This is the Times. 17 people watching. So we've got more people watching us than the Times do. The Sun have got 34 people watching. So let's add ourselves to the people who are watching. I'm sorry, that was probably making a bit of noise there. Let's just get rid of this advert that's coming through. And that's your mum, mate, says someone in the chat on here. Okay, so that is playing. Right, good. Goody. And now what I need to do is make that. Oh no, I did the pop-out chat thing. Sorry, I should have had this all sorted. But then again, I thought I was actually going to be in the room. I could stream it from my phone, but clearly not. Well, let's see if I can make this look nice for you at home. We got a super chat from Ivan. Thank you. Sorry, I was pissing around with all the windows. I've only got the one screen, so I've got like overlays of all this stuff. Super chat from Ivan. Remote working for MPs and councillors is also a must. It was good enough during the worst of the pandemic, so it should be good enough now. This would help people who can't get out to be candidates. Yeah, I agree. The lack of the lack of support for people who are, face challenges in life is a bit shit if they want to actually affect some change in the world. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. Sorry, but thank you for the super chat. Nonetheless, thank you for the super chat. It's very kind of you. I'm just going to head over to the other screen now. Hopefully this will work. Bollocks, it didn't work. Why didn't you work? Why aren't you working? Right, there you go. And then press that, and then there we go. Hurrah! Ferrari! With a Ferrari. That's good. Okay. Now all I need to do is hit that. And we are getting live pictures from the Liverpool. Which is nice. Always good to go live from Liverpool. And just 1 second, I'm just gonna adjust my wellies here on the window capture. Let's just do that, and then do that, and then We'll get rid of that, and then we will make this a bit smaller and move it. Sorry, I'm doing this live. I shouldn't be doing this live really, but I am. And we might be able to hear a little bit of them talking. I have to make it a lot smaller, won't I? Oh, there you go. The thing is, whenever I'm doing this, I get things set up in advance, and then it'll actually start, and there'll be something about it that I don't like, and I'll be like, oh, I gotta change it now. Don't like that. And one thing I don't like on this is the fact that the Rachel Reeves speaks at a party conference is kind of cut. Oh, I can put it there, can't I? That kind of works. Although the black bar's bigger on that side, and that's kind of annoying. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm like this. But yeah, we can do something. We can do something about it. In a moment. What I'll do is I will go to that. I'll go to properties. She's not on her feet yet, so you amuse yourselves, people, while I. Oh, hello. Hello. I've fucked it up. I fucked it up again. There we go. Go away and come back. Right, properties, filters. That's what I want. Need to crop it. Okay. Let's do this. So I'll do this as you watch it. So I'm cropping the bottom. God, that's really slow. That's a slow way to do it. Let's just do it by 100. What happened? Oh shit. Oh, that's not supposed to do that. Okay. 150. Oh, okay. That's nearly there. And then we'll go for 160. It does it by the pixel, by the way, so there you go. And then what we can do, I think, maybe, if we're very lucky, is make it bigger. And there we go, we fit it in. Woohoo! Wee! Okay, cool, done it. That looks alright, done it? Yay, there you go. We knew Britain. Ooh, we just had a little super chat. We had a mega chat come in. Thank you so much. Thank you for it ain't half hot, Plum Duff. Thank you so much, Plum Duff. 50 quid. Great having you home, Mr. Hughes. Love to all you badgers. Does anyone else feel like we're living in the days of Weimar Republic? Scary times. Love to all. Yeah, they are scary times. But whatever happens, we're in it together. We are the good people of planet Earth. Oh God. Lisa Nandy doesn't look too happy there, does she? And here we go. This is the Chancellor, and she is speaking.
Thank you.
What?
Air calls,
what?
And
no! Why are you giving me an advert? Piss off!
Your enthusiasm alone.
Oh my God! The timing
that to come.
Fucking YouTube. I don't know what she said now. She could have said anything.
Conference.
Thanks so much, Plum Duff. It's really kind of you.
At the GMB Congress, I was proud to announce this Labour government's full backing for Sizewell C, a landmark investment in a new era of nuclear power.
Ooh. Okay. I'm not that asked about nuclear power.
That plant will employ 10,000 people, create thousands more jobs in its supply chains, and produce the
She's very wooden,
to
isn't
power
she?
6 million homes.
Heaven Starmer, they're just not very charismatic. Do you know what I mean?
Because when we came into office just over a year ago, this country was faced with a stark choice: investment or decline. To invest in Britain's renewal, or to carry on with the same Tory economics and the same results. So for jobs and for pay, for energy independence and for our national security, we chose investment. The Tories wouldn't invest when they were in power. The Tories now oppose that choice from opposition. So conference, don't ever let anyone tell you that there's no difference between a Labour government and a Conservative government.
Sounds like a robot. She's, you know what, Evan Starmer, if Evan Starmer were a couple, right, they would be like the couple that turn up half an hour before the party is due to begin. You know the type, don't you?
The economy differently. No longer would we turn a blind eye to where things are made and who makes them, or shrug our shoulders when the national interest is on the line. Because a strong economy must rest on strong foundations. I call that approach securonomics. That's why, when the shipbuilder Harland and Wolff was in danger, we chose to step in, to guarantee a future for shipbuilding.
Oh, thank you, Ivan, for the super chat, mate. Thank you.
And I am proud to see the British
Super
shipbuilding
chat.
industry going from strength to strength. With just last month, a record £10 billion export order from Norway for Scottish-built frigates.
Yawn. Yawn. Come on.
It's why we're taking action to protect the automotive industry.
Fuck me, this is like someone reading a shopping list in a monotone voice.
£1.5 billion loan guarantee.
That is the difference a Labour government makes.
Certainty and support for the jobs in its business and in its supply chain.
Scott says, whatever you think about Rachel Reeves, I think for 46 she's an attractive lady. Same age as me.
And in April, when the foreign owners of British Steel rejected our offers of support,
It is possible to be attractive in your 40s, you know.
redirected essential materials overseas and prepared that company to close, we faced another choice. We could do what the Tories did and stand idly by while jobs and industrial capacity were lost, or we could choose a different path, to take control of that company in the national interest. That was not just an economic choice, but a test of our conviction, our patriotism, and our Labour values. This government was not willing. This government was not willing, I was not willing, to tolerate a situation in Britain's
Blue
steel
Badger,
capacity
Jesus,
which
I don't want to think about that, mate.
and nor was I willing to see yet another working class community lose its pride, lose the prosperity, lose the dignity that industry provides. So we chose to intervene, to save British steel and the jobs that go with it. The Tories would not back British steel, and they wouldn't back Britain's steel workers. But this Labour government is unequivocal. There must be a future. There will be a future for steel forged here on British soil.
Okay, there's got to be a bit of clapping now. So quickly, Ivan, thank you so much. It's so frustrating, Graham. In my past life, I would have been putting myself forward. Now I can't. But at the same, I want to give. It's a horrible situation when you are when you want to make a difference, but there are obstacles. I understand, Ivan, but you help out. You help out by watching this channel and supporting us here. So that's awesome. Thank you.
New legislation to put our economic security first.
Someone's shouting. They're talking about 2 years of genocide.
We understand your cause, and we are recognising a Palestinian state, but we are now a party in government, not a party of protest.
She handled that very well.
And I'm proud to stand here as your Chancellor. The Chancellor that's increased the minimum wage, a Chancellor that is introducing free breakfast clubs and free school meals, a Chancellor that's overseen 5 cuts to interest rates. That's the difference we make, and that is the difference we make in power, not through protest. Our party has changed, and that is why I am standing here, proud to be your Chancellor of the Exchequer. We're putting Britain first, empowering us
My mum's just arrived.
British built
Making me a cup of tea.
And British forged steel.
It's good being home.
Strengthening our national economic security and creating good manufacturing jobs here in Britain. Because where
this is live now. This is live now from Liverpool.
Who makes them does matter.
She did do a really good job of dealing with
and
that.
as we build those new railways and new roads, the new power stations and new runways, this generation and the next, we want the security and the good unionised jobs that come from making things here in Britain. I promised you we'd run the economy differently. The Tories didn't do it and they still don't get it, but Labour does. So don't let anyone ever tell you that there's no difference between a Labour government and
Yeah, but no one's going to vote for the Tories. No one's going to vote for the Tories. You need to be talking. They need to be talking about refuck. They really do. Ivan, thank you very much for the super chat. We demand virtual delegates and remote working for MPs and councillors. That'll be great.
There is one reason why we have the power to make these choices. It's not a matter of luck or a routine swing in the political
Thanks for the super chat, Ivan.
It is because, thanks, Keir, to your leadership and to the efforts of countless people in this hall and beyond, that we earned the privilege to serve. Because we every one of us, gave our all to regain the trust of the British people, to earn this precious chance, to put our values into practice. Let me tell you what brought me here and what gets me up every morning.
There's a train, wasn't it?
Let me tell you what I believe in and what drives me.
Your chauffeur?
Conference, you know where I come from. My mum and dad were primary school teachers, and I'm really proud of that. I know how hard they worked to give all the children that they taught the very best start in life. I know how hard all our teachers work. And I know parents' hopes and fears.
All right, see you later, Janeway.
To their kids. I feel them for my own. But ordinary families find themselves fighting against a system which hoards privilege at the top, leaves too many working class kids behind. I joined the Labour Party almost 30 years ago now, because I could see that the Conservative governments I grew up under in the 80s and 90s, they didn't care much about schools like mine. Ellie knows that too. They didn't care much about the kids we grew up with. Textbooks rationed.
Yep. I remember that.
Libraries closed.
Yep. She would have gone to the
Kids
school at the
turned
same
into
time as me.
porta cabins.
Yeah.
Their prospects written off.
Porta cabins on the playground.
I joined our party because I wanted to change all that. And those same values drive me now today. Conference, I believe in a Britain founded on contribution, where we do our duty for each other and where hard work is matched by fair reward. I believe in a Britain based on opportunity, where ordinary kids can flourish, unhindered by their backgrounds. And I believe that Britain's real wealth is found not only in the success of the fortunate few, but in the talents of all our people, in every part of our great country.
Do you want to come say hello?
We all know that our shared values
watching?
can only achieve
It's me, Mum.
for ordinary people if we have the power to act on them and a credible power to put them into effect.
Thanks for the tea.
A plan fit for an uncertain
Yeah, that's
world
me,
in
Mum.
which we find ourselves. Not for the world that we wish it might be. A plan to build a stronger, more resilient economy, able to navigate this age of insecurity. No one said it was going to be easy. But take pride in what we are achieving together.
What are
Not
you
just the
achieving
pride
though?
in winning, but pride too in the choices we are making and the lives we are changing. Remember
Hi, Graham's mum.
that in every single one of the 451 days that we have been in office, we have achieved more than in the more than 5,000 days that we spent powerless in opposition.
Hello, Graham's mum. Everyone's saying hi.
Every day since the 4th of July last year has brought with it a chance to change Britain for the better. Creating Britain's first genuine living wage, getting spades in the ground on new roads and rail
Hi,
projects,
SG.
backing our communities to strengthen pride in place, including here in Merseyside with the reopening of Southport Pier, investing in homegrown British energy, freezing fuel
Very
duty,
close, about a year.
capping bus fares, recruiting new neighbourhood police, opening school breakfast clubs, expanding free school meals, lifting 100,000 children out of poverty as we do it, and delivering a pay rise, a deserved pay rise.
Why do you have to demonise trans people at the same time then? Why did you have to do that? You could have done all that without demonising trans people.
For the future too, with £29 billion a year towards its day-to-day funding, a record cash investment.
Yeah.
The NHS.
Plumduff, I think you're
created by
right.
a Labour government, protected by every Labour government.
Ugh.
renewed by this Labour government.
Balloon face transphobe. Piss off, balloon face. We don't like West Streeting here. We'll have no streetings here. No streetings.
Let me tell you something else we will do. I remember as a kid that my school library was turned into a classroom because there were more students than there was space.
It's not a learnt speech. She's reading off an
Think
auto
about
cue.
the message that sends
She's
about the
reading off an
government's
auto cue.
How little value is placed on opportunities for kids to learn and to grow. to explore their interests independently, or to find a quiet place to study that isn't always on offer at home. Under another Conservative government, a generation later...
Why are you talking about the Conservatives? It's re-fuck that you should be worried about.
Today in England, there are 1,700 primary schools that don't have a school library. That's not right, and I will not let it stand. So I am committing here today to providing a library in every single primary school in England by the end of this
Okay, that's a good policy. I'll give them that. That's a good policy. Yes, please. Please do that.
That is a statement of my values. That is a statement of the value that this government places on all our children's futures.
What about trans children? What about trans children?
Reform would never make those choices. So take pride.
Oh, she mentioned reform.
Take pride in our values put into action. And conference, don't ever let anyone tell you that there's no difference between a Labour government and a Conservative government.
Sorry, Elle. No, I was just talking about the fact that Labour have been incredibly transphobic over the last year or so, and I was just pointing that out. Sorry, she didn't say anything particularly transphobic there.
As the Tories took our country in the wrong direction. Austerity, the botched Brexit deal, the mini budget, school roofs crumbling, NHS waiting lists soaring.
Yep.
5 prime ministers.
5
7
useless prime ministers.
chancellors. The worst parliament on living standards ever.
Worst parliament on living
And our
standards.
country's very reputation in tatters. And never forget what they did during the pandemic. While we were kept apart
Oh,
from our loved ones
thanks,
and
Rob
feared for
Wales.
our families, the Conservatives partied in Downing Street.
Super
And
chat.
dished out contracts to their friends and to their donors. We are still paying the bill for their waste and their cronyism. So I'm pleased to tell you that thanks to our COVID Corruption Commissioner, almost £400 million has now been recovered for taxpayers that have been lost to COVID fraud. And we will continue that fight. And we will continue that fight to recover more from those PPE contracts that failed to deliver. But we won't stop there. In the coming months, we are bringing in additional new powers to investigate and recover more money from fraudsters who have ripped off the government and ripped off our public services.
Yeah, good. Goody. That was a bit of a weird camera swipe, wasn't it?
To deploy those new powers, we are recruiting a new hit squad to investigate and recover all the money that is owed to the British people. Because, conference, we want our money back. We are getting that money back, and we are putting it where it belongs, in our communities, in our schools, and in our National Health Service.
Yeah, L, about Section 28 2.0, yeah. You're absolutely right.
But the most enduring consequences of the Conservatives' time in office come from their economic failure.
Okay, let's get into this.
They made Britain poorer.
They did.
They made working people poorer.
They did.
And they left
made everything more expensive.
Public finances in disarray.
Made everything more expensive.
The single biggest factor underlying Britain's challenges on the cost of living, on the public finances, and on our public services is their 14-year failure on economic growth. If the UK economy had grown at just the average of other advanced economies in those 14 years, our economy today would be £140 billion bigger.
Yep.
That's almost £5,000 for every family in the UK.
Yeah.
Our economic renewal will rest on stability to keep taxes, inflation and interest rates as low as possible. Economic reform to unlock the contribution of businesses and working people, and investment in every part of Britain. Each day, I see a country primed for economic success. A skilled and committed workforce.
It is.
World-class universities and innovative businesses.
Yeah. We can support the universities then, take off the immigration cap.
They want you to believe that our economy is broken, that our best days lie behind us, that decline is inevitable. I fundamentally reject that.
Kate
not the
Smith,
country I
rejoin the
think about.
EU. Yeah, absolutely.
Not the future that I believe in. I know that things are still difficult. Bills are too high. Getting ahead can feel tough. And there are still too many obstacles in the way for businesses. And so our central economic objective is to change that. Growth to improve living standards is the challenge, and investment is the solution. By overhauling our planning system, reforming our pension system, launching Britain's very first national wealth fund and a modern industrial strategy.
Wealth fund's a good
Signing
idea.
new trade deals to back our manufacturers
I'm sorry.
and our exports.
Build a website you
Oh,
love.
fuck off.
With words.
Person impersonator, I'm sorry
Were your
about...
words?
Allies in Europe.
I'm sorry about that.
Just this month,
We do need...
thanks to Keir's hard work,
We do need
we
more.
secured £150 billion of overseas
Sorry.
investment.
We do need more investment in mental health.
I have never believed the Tory mantra that the best thing that a government can do is to get out of the way. A strategic state must use its power to support jobs and growth, and that includes through public investment. Under the Tories, capital spending was always the first victim when the public finances came under strain. So in last autumn's budget, I changed those fiscal rules to support and to protect investment. And alongside that, because I know that too often our regions outside London and the South East have not had their fair share of spending decisions, I rewrote those rules to support investment in every part of Britain. In place of decline, we have chosen investment. Investment in defence and the good jobs that come with that. In Plymouth and in Barrow, in Aldermaston and Lincoln, on the Clyde and in Rosai. Investment in energy, in nuclear power, yes, and in carbon capture and storage too. On the Humber and on Teesside, in Aberdeenshire and right here on Merseyside. Investment in transport, including the biggest ever investment in our city regions. We're investing here in Merseyside, with new links in St Helens and major investment in Merseyrail, including a new station at Liverpool Baltic. We're investing in Greater Manchester, with new tram stops in Bury, North Manchester, Oldham and Stockport. And we're investing in West Yorkshire to power ahead with a mass transit system, linking Bradford and Leeds, the largest city in Western Europe without a light rail or metro system, but not for much longer.
Reopening that train station. It's not a new train station. It's reopening St James's, and they're going to call it Baltic. It was a part of my rail plan that I gave to my MP Stephen Twigg back in 2007, I think.
Investing in the East Midlands to link up the Trent Arc. We're
Just saying.
investing in the West Midlands, extending the Birmingham Metro and backing the Midlands Rail Hub to link Birmingham, Worcestershire and Herefordshire with Wales. And we're investing in Welsh railways with new stations and new infrastructure, the benefits of two Labour governments working together. And we're investing in East-West Rail to join up the Oxford-Cambridge Growth Corridor and Conference, as well as the Transpennine route upgrade to link Manchester, Leeds and York and the towns in between them. This Labour government will push ahead with our plans for Northern Powerhouse Rail.
Yeah, hurry up, please. I don't know why it takes me 3 hours to get to bloody Durham.
Plans opposed by reform, but backed by this Labour government, a vote of confidence in the north of England, to get people to work, to connect families, to create jobs, and to build prosperity in towns and cities scarred by underinvestment for far too long. That is what we are achieving together. A Labour government working with our Labour leaders around the country, delivering for working people.
I don't understand how it takes longer to take the train from Liverpool to Durham than it does to just drive. It takes longer to take the train than to drive. It's mental.
In defence and energy and transport, the housing crisis is one of the greatest challenges that we face.
Okay.
Every family deserves the security, safety and the joy of a good home. That is why we are powering ahead with our commitment to build 1.5 million homes in this Parliament. And any plan to match the scale of that housing crisis must involve a major role for social housing, which is why I allocated £40 billion in the spending review just a few months ago. The biggest cash investment into council, social and affordable housing in a generation. So conference, don't ever let anyone tell you that there's no difference between a Labour government and a Conservative government. But conference, let us be clear. All that we are doing is only possible because we, all of us, put in the hard work to show the British people that we could be trusted to manage our economy. Because we were unequivocal in our commitment to economic responsibility. And I will never, ever squander that hard-earned trust. We were able to increase investment only because we remained steadfast in that commitment to economic responsibility. That is not a trade-off with our Labour values. It is essential to
I'm really sorry to hear that, Sarah. That's awful.
Because our ambition for Britain, our dedication to social justice, is not measured in the size of the deficit you are willing to run, but in the choices we make to defend and advance the interests of working people. And responsible management of our public finances is an integral part to that most basic mission. It is because of the stability that we have created that we have seen 5 cuts to interest rates since the general election. Mortgage costs coming down and hundreds of pounds back in the pockets of working people. Conference, every advance we make in getting the cost of living down is a Labour achievement, and we should take pride in that.
Thanks very much to Paula for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Let's be clear where we came from. My primary school had open air toilets in the early 60s, and the heat source was a solid fuel boiler in every room. Bloody hell, but that wasn't healthy.
With the global uncertainty that we have seen ripple through financial markets, there are still critics out there who would too readily forget the consequences of reckless economic choices. Never forget that in 2 hours, one Friday, almost exactly 3 years ago, the Conservatives under Liz Truss sent mortgage costs spiralling, put pensions in peril, and consigned their party not just to defeat, but to utter irrelevance. That was a warning.
She did do that.
And the British people will not forgive any party that forgets it. Conference, let us reaffirm our commitment that we will never ever do what the Conservatives did to ordinary working people in this country.
Yeah, Scott, yeah, I want to hear about redressing the wealth disparity. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I want to hear about that as well.
I know that there are still people who peddle the idea that we could just abandon economic responsibility, cast off any constraints on spending. They are wrong. Dangerously so. And we need to be honest about what that choice would mean. Because when spending gets out of control, when market confidence is lost, that doesn't just show up in some OBR report and some difficult headlines a few months later. It is felt immediately in the growing cost of essentials and rising interest rates. And let me tell you, there is nothing progressive, nothing Labour, about government using 1 in every £10 of public money it spends on financing debt to interest. Billions of pounds every single year going towards repaying debt racked up by the Tories, paid to overseas hedge funds and investors. That's not how I want to spend public money. In the months ahead, we will face further tests, with the choices to come made all the harder by harsh global headwinds and the long-term damage done to our country, which is becoming ever clearer. Our first year in power was about fixing the foundations, Our second must be about building a renewed economy for a renewed Britain. A renewed economy that works for working people.
Scott, we'll stop giving it to the fucking rich. Yeah, couldn't agree more,
mate. A
mate.
renewed economy where we reject austerity and support our public services. A renewed economy that supports investment, that gets inflation and borrowing down, and where we build growth in every part of Britain. I will make my choices at that budget. They will be choices to take our country forward. And whatever tests come our way, whatever tests come my way, I make this commitment to you. I will take no risks with the trust placed in us by the British people.
It's not really announcing very much here. This is a bit woolly. I mean, the library in every school, that's good, but...
Remember everything that is at stake here. The single greatest threat to our way of life and to the living standards of working people is the agenda of Nigel Farage and the Reform Party. Whatever falsehoods they push, whatever easy answers they peddle, however willing they are to tear communities and families apart, they are not on the side of working people. Conference, here are the questions that we must never tire of repeating between now and the next election. Who is standing up for Britain's working people? A Labour government introducing the biggest upgrade of workers' rights in decades? Or a Reform Party which has opposed those rights every single step of the way? Who is standing up for Britain's interests? A Labour government that stands with our allies, or a Reform Party in bed with Vladimir Putin? Who is standing up for Britain's economic stability? A Labour government resolute in getting prices and interest rates down, or a Reform Party that cheered on the mini budget of Liz Truss?
Yep. Don't let people forget that. I mean, she's not announcing anything. She's not announcing anything.
A Labour government that is forging closer relationships with our nearest trading partners. Or a Reform Party who wants to talk Britain down and longs to cut us off from the rest of the world. And who is standing up for Britain's National Health Service? A Labour government investing record amounts in our NHS, or a Reform Party opposed to the very principle of a publicly funded healthcare system free at the point of use?
Yeah. Opposed to the very idea of the NHS, that's what you should have said.
Issue, it is Labour that is standing up for working people and standing up for our national interest. Friends, this is a fight that we must win, and it is a fight that we will win. So when you leave this hall, when you return to your communities and your workplaces, let the message ring out that there is only one party that was founded by working people, and only one party that is committed absolutely to defending their interests, on jobs and on pay, on rights at work, on health and in our schools, on the safety of our streets and the strength of our communities, on energy security and on national security. The clue is in the name, Conference. That party, the party of working people, is the Labour Party.
Well, great rhetorical flourish, but there was hardly anything of any substance in that, you know? Just, okay, all right, you know. Anyway, she's got to get a standing ovation now, so I'm just turning the volume down on that. I think she's done. It's just people clapping. I'm just gonna keep it in my ear for a moment, see if she says anything else. I don't think she will. Oh, she is. She's back.
It's about the strength of our military and the security
super
of our
chat.
borders.
Oh no, there wasn't a super
Absolutely.
chat. It just came up automatically. Sorry.
But it goes well beyond that. It's about building a country where we recognise that talent is found in every classroom, not just among those at the top.
I would have saved that bit for
That
the end.
working people of every background,
I do need a
wherever they
working
grow
people
up,
title, don't I?
have
Working
more
people.
in common with each other than those who wish to divide us. That every town and city, every region and nation in this United Kingdom has a part to play in our shared success. A country where we look out for each other, in good times and in bad, where we back British businesses to succeed in the world, and where we back working people too. So that honest work pays a wage that you can afford to live on. Where we recognise that we are strongest when we work together towards that better Britain. A patriotism not measured in how quick you are to exclude, how loudly you shout, how willing you are to exploit every division and distort every challenge that we face. But a patriotism measured in our obstinate determination, our impatience, our commitment to building a better, fairer, more prosperous Britain. That is our patriotic mission. Those are our Labour values. Those are our British values, and we will fight for them. Conference, never forget who we do this for. Before the summer, I was at a breakfast club in the north of England. It was 8:30 in the morning and there was a little boy sitting on the floor playing with his Lego. He showed me what he was building. He was really proud of his project and he wanted to tell me all about it.
Was it Boris Johnson? Is he building a bridge?
Afterwards, one of the teachers said something that stayed with me. She said, "You know that boy, when he started coming to breakfast here, he didn't speak at all. He was completely silent." I was shocked, but maybe I shouldn't have been. Because stories like that are too common in Britain. And I thought about the money that we're putting into breakfast clubs. What does that pay for? Some toast and cereal, maybe some juice, an extra hour of a teacher's time to keep an eye on the kids. But what does it actually buy? For that little boy sitting on the floor absorbed in his Lego, it bought him more than food. It bought him an opportunity. The opportunity of time spent at school in a more intimate environment, where he could play and feel at ease. The opportunity to start the school day ready to learn. The opportunity of a better start in life, and with it perhaps the opportunity of a better future. Conference, that's what we all fight for. That's who I fight for. That's who this party is for. Kids like him, families like his. I know that there is much more to do, and I promise you we will do it. But we should take pride in the lives already being changed by the choices that we have made. And let me tell you, there is no greater champion for working class kids than my friend and my colleague, our Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson.
No. She's a disgusting transphobe and we hate her.
Believe me, she will
Not voting
rest,
for her to be
and
deputy.
I will not rest until those barriers to opportunity are torn down. That is what we are in this for, friends.
What about the barriers to trans kids getting their hands on puberty blockers?
But those barriers don't just vanish.
Oh, there we go. Another advert. Sorry about this.
Of young people.
Safer gambling. There's nothing safe about gambling. It's evil.
But once again, under the Conservatives, too many young people found themselves trapped. Frozen out of employment, education or training. There's no defending that. It's bad for business, bad for taxpayers, bad for our economy. And it scars people's prospects throughout the rest of their lives. At the spending review, I pledged record investment in skills to support our young people. And today I can announce that with that investment, we will fund a new youth guarantee. Every young person will be guaranteed either a place in college for those who want to continue their studies, or an apprenticeship to help them learn a trade vital to our plans to rebuild our country, or some one-to-one support to help them find a job. But more than that, our guarantee means that any young person out of work, education or training for more than 18 months will be given a paid work placement. Real work, practical experience, new skills. Conference, we won't leave a generation of young people to languish without prospects, denied the dignity, denied the security and the ladders of opportunity that good work provides. Just as the last Labour government achieved that with the New Deal, I commit this Labour government to nothing less than the abolition of long-term youth unemployment.
Okay, thank you to Ivan for the super chat. That's very kind of you, Ivan. Saying Reeves should be referencing refuck instead of the Tories. Yes, the Tories always make me angry, but they're irrelevant now. She's talking like it's still last year's election campaign. Anyway, they're just clapping now. She just said this is the difference that Labour are making.
And that's not all. We should not cut young people off from opportunities that my generation took for granted. And that means rejecting the politics of isolation and division, for which our young people pay the gravest price. It means defying those voices which claim to speak in the national interest, but which demand that our people, our communities, and our businesses suffer the consequences for a Britain cut off from the rest of Europe. I don't want young people to miss out on the chance to enrich their lives through travel, experiencing other cultures, working and studying abroad.
Okay, so we're going to rejoin the EU, yeah?
Those opportunities cannot and must not be the sole preserve of the wealthy and the
They are, thanks to Farage, they are.
So, as well as making it easier to trade with Europe,
Yes.
as well as making it easier to travel in Europe,
Yes.
I can tell you today
Okay, go
that
on.
we are working with the European Union to secure for young people in Britain the maximum economic and cultural opportunities available through an ambitious
rejoining
agreement
the
on
EU?
youth mobility. So, conference, don't ever let anyone tell you that there's no difference between a Labour government and
Youth
a
mobility.
Conservative government.
Good. Can I have it though? Can I have my freedom of movement back? Why did I get mine taken away? I didn't want Farage to take anything away from me. Why did he get to take it away from me? Didn't take it away from his own bastard children, did he? The toe-faced twat.
This year has brought its fair share of challenges for our party and our country. They won't be the last. We've turned our backs on the path of decline, and we've chosen investment. But there is further to go. So yes, I'm proud that under our watch, Britain has been the fastest growing economy in the G7. But is there more to do if we want prosperity in every part of Britain? Absolutely. I'm proud to have overseen wages rising by more in the first 10 months of this Labour government than in the first 10 years of the previous Conservative government. But is there more to do if we want to make working people better off? Absolutely. And I'm proud that we've recruited 2,000 new GPs, delivered 5,000 extra appointments, and cut NHS waiting lists by more than 200,000. But is there more to do if we want an NHS truly fit for the future? Absolutely. And conference, we are just getting started.
Oh, balloon boy. Go away, you balloon-faced nerk. Ugh.
So whatever challenges come our way, don't be deterred. Because I can see the destination if we stay true to our course. A Britain where every child can flourish, no matter their background or their parents' jobs or where they grow up. And never let anyone tell you that there's no difference between a Labour government and a Conservative.
Okay, right, we got that, Rachel. We got that. You've said that about 17 fucking times, all right? No one was saying that.
When people ask you,
Tired slogan again. Yeah,
who is this
Scott.
government for? When they ask you, whose side are you on? Then you can tell them. Go and ask the steel worker in Scunthorpe, the engineer in Barrow, the shipbuilder on the Clyde. Ask the mum on the living wage, going to work secure in their knowledge that her children will get a good start to the day. Ask the nurse who has had back-to-back pay rises due to this Labour government. Ask the business facing lower barriers to trade. And ask the patient finally off a waiting list because of this Labour government.
When you're in the room, like, and people start standing up, it's so annoying. I normally sit. I've got a balcony pass, so I sit right at the back of the hall. I don't have to stand up, which is good.
Have faith, because our party and our country have overcome greater challenges than these. Have faith, because the opportunity to serve is what we came into this for. Have faith, knowing that this Labour government will not rest.
I need the loo.
I will not rest until our patriotic cause is realised. In a Britain that prizes contribution.
She's not saying much, is she?
Unlocks opportunity.
We knew they were going to do a youth mobility scheme.
Voices of decline. And never let anyone tell you that there's no difference between a Labour government.
Oh, she said it again! Stop it! Stop saying. Oh my God. Scott saying the slogans actually turned me off. Yeah. Same here, mate. I was really horny until that point.
Challenges our way.
Nick said people
is
shouldn't be
within
promoting sectorial
A
carve-outs.
Britain where the barriers to opportunity are torn asunder. A Britain able to look outwards with confidence. Defiant in an uncertain world. Powered by the contribution of its people.
Get on with it.
Hopeful for our shared future.
Okay. It's just word salad.
A prosperous Britain.
Okay.
A Labour Britain.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Can we go home now? Right, are we done? Is that it? Are we done? Can we go home? Can I go to the conference now? All right. Ivan, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, mate. It should be the difference between the Labour government and the risk of reform government. Yeah. Did you just say the billionaires? Do you know what I mean? That's what I would do. I'd say we're not the party of the billionaires. Thank you very much for the super chat. And we will turn the volume down. Doopy-doopy-doo. And there we go. That's it. That's it, peeps. So there you go. Right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you very much for the super chats. It's really kind of you. I'll be broadcasting. I'm going back to the conference now. It's about 20 minutes to get there. I'm going to try and broadcast at 3 o'clock this afternoon, okay? And I'll be doing it from my phone, and I'm going to give you a tour around the conference. It's something that I wanted to do over the last few years, but I've not had the internet to be able to do it like I wanted to. So hopefully now I've got a new Vodafone SIM, which they guarantee me will work, and it worked at Glastonbury. So hopefully I'll be able to do a bit of a walk around the conference venues and show you what it's like to be there, and maybe say hello to a few people in there, and you'll be able to watch that live at 3 o'clock. Then tonight at 7 o'clock, me and Phil are meeting up in the pub in the Ship and Mitre here in Liverpool. If you want to come along, you're very welcome to do so. And the tickets are free. Just let me know if you want to come. And I will be streaming that live at 7 o'clock. So please join us for that as well. So after a few weeks away, we're going to get back into the scheme of things. Starting this show 2 hours late, but we got to watch Rachel Reeves' speech and make fun of it. So that was fun. Just in reference to that speech, I thought it was a big nothing. There was hardly anything announced in it. No big, no new windfall taxes. No new taxes on big industry, big companies. It was all a bit woolly. It just felt a bit woolly, and she kept on just banging on about this whole thing about the difference between the Tories. And I think that's the wrong way to go, because people who are Conservative voters get annoyed with that, and people who are refuck voters. What you want to do is just go after the billionaires. Just keep saying the billionaires, the oligarchs, the people who run the newspapers, the people who control the means of communication in this country, these oligarchs who don't want to pay tax, and point out about the things that are unequal in our society. That's what I would go on about. I would go on about the fact that Buckingham Palace only pays £2,000 a year in the fucking council tax, whereas we pay more than that in Liverpool. You know, it's just insane. For just a one down bloody terraced house down the dingle, you pay more than that. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Sid says, "Wow, we're 2 hours past." Well, not quite. Well, you've had me for 1 hour and 40 minutes. Coming up in a few seconds. That was garbage and weak, says Jack Wilson. It was a big nothing burger. There you go. That's my review. That's my off-the-cuff review of that. It was just a big nothing burger. Could have been a lot better. Anyway, so yes, it'll be Keir Starmer's speech tomorrow, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that because I'll be at the conference. So I don't know if I'll be watching it at the conference. I won't be watching it live at the conference, but I might be watching it in another room. What I might do, if I can get a good internet signal on my phone and I can do a live stream on my phone, a hotspot on my phone, I might stream it from the BBC site as I'm at the conference, so you'll be able to see me in the corner going hello, and you'll be able to watch the speech here on the channel, and I'll actually have the conference behind me, and we can pass judgment as we watch it. Anyway, so thank you very much for joining us this morning, and now this afternoon, I guess, and until 3 o'clock today, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.